Okay.
Okay, so the word we got was adapt, so we decided to make a different situation where this game couldn't be played so that we could just like make it playable.
Okay.
So for this game you need more than 2 people, so we decided to go with if you only have 2 people to play. And
So what we decided to do is we took one of the game variants, which was an apples to apples kind of gameplay, and what we did was we decided to take the scenario and turn it into a green card, which just has an adjective, and you have the little phrases which are in italicized on the Mahabharacts card, which you can just take and make those the red cards. So what you're doing is basically you give a scenario, and the red card would just say the answer to that scenario, and then from that red card, what advice would you give to make to
So let's just show, give me an example, like you take a card out, what do you have?
So you
like?
have a green card, and that green card, like, I think one of our cards was what? It was.
I don't know. But like so basically what it is that you start with the card, we'll like have 2 decks.
So you have a bunch of green cards and red cards?
Yeah.
So
Separate from this, you have a bunch of red cards and green cards.
No,
So-
using the phrases that are on these cards.
Okay.
So some of the so the
So a phrase, say on this card, could be red in color.
Mhm.
Could you do it that way?
So like we were just like using the colors to like change them. So we were thinking that like the green cards would be basically conversation starters, while the red cards are kind of just to add like advice to the conversation. So basically
Okay.
what you want to do is you first put down a starter, like the start of a conversation, and then each player takes turns trying to put down like advice to add to the conversation. So basically you're just trying to make a whole big conversation out of it. And so you keep going until your cards don't add to the conversation anymore. You can't like make a sensible like.
And you start with one, say, conversation starter, and
Yeah.
then you have to keep going until it dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep, so it's like building a little puzzle. Hmm? Keep
mean,
going. Did we all get that game?
Yeah.
What do you think? It works?
I mean, are there any questions? Because we can always
Time
decide.
is probably not that good.
So mean.
I mean,
So
if
how do you
guys have-
decide who's the winner or like which team is winning? Because
Well,
it's
the
just
team
2 people.
that wins would be based on how well does the situation or advice adapt to the adapt to.
So like
what
whoever
it
can't
has.
add to the conversation basically lost the round.
So that everyone has, what, 3 cards with them or something?
You just have like half the deck with you, cause like
You would have
you don't
conversations.
want to run out of cards. You want to keep going until like you just.
It's only a
can't add.
2-player game that they have.
Oh, it's a
got, so-
2-player game.
Yeah, so it's you have conversation starters and you also have advice cards because you're gonna be doing like
Also,
one
each
on top of
person
each other.
takes a card and say, will this add to it or not? And or if not,
Yeah,
hold on.
so you start with a conversation starter saying, I have this dilemma. So what advice can I give to remedy this
So
dilemma?
everyone's already gonna have like half the
Two-player
deck
game.
in their hand. So
Okay.
there's not gonna be like a separate deck to like pull out of. That's just like the conversation starters. So
Oh.
you just like look through your cards and you see what could I add to this conversation.
And then in reverse.
Oh, you're gonna have half a deck in your hand. 25 cards?
Well,
Okay.
maybe you don't use the whole.
Okay.
Like that,
You don't have
the
to.
deck might not be like 50 cards.
Well,
for
okay.
this one.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
depends on
yeah.
how much they want to play.
Yeah, I
time
get
will,
it.
time
Yeah.
will decide that.
I like that. I like this idea of adding.
And then in the
Conversation
reverse way,
starters.
what situation would you give this advice for?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Okay.
basically it.
And we can actually test this game out. We have stuff. I have stuff.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the Dharma dilemma, but
Yeah.
like in a different
But
way.
we can make it a whole funny thing.
Yeah.
A funny deck of conversation starters. Right? Good.
Basically, like our modified game is like there's 2 teams, and they each need to have at least 2 people. So like, say they're on one team, right? One person on the team would pick a quote and a location, and the other person on the team would have to guess both the quote and the location. So then, say Chris is acting it out, he would read the quote out loud, omitting the bolded words, and so he would have 1 minute to act out the words and the location for Roger to guess.
And Rajit has to guess the location
And
Yeah, we're on the same
and
team.
And the word.
and the word.
And that's
And-
one turn. So then the turn goes on to the other team and they repeat the situation. So there's 3 ways you could get points in the first minute. If you guess the word that's bolded as well as the location, then you get the given amount of points on the location depending on how hard that place is to do. And like standard 10 points on if you guess the bolded words. So then if you don't guess the bolded words or by acting it out or the place, then you can't. Then in the next 30 seconds, the other team picks out one of the bolded words that you have to give synonyms for your team to. Oh my god.
Right, so I pick one of the words that
Okay.
are bolded, and he have to give synonyms for them. So
Okay.
Rajat would have to guess that word. But
Okay.
there's a list of words that he can't use because otherwise he just.
So like for Disneyland, let's say you pick.
taboo. Okay,
We
Disneyland.
threw it in. Okay,
Threw in.
I invented taboo.
Okay.
So let's say you get Disneyland, right? You can't use Epcot, Magic Kingdom, or Mickey Mouse.
That'll be on the location card
Yeah.
itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you act out one
And
round?
then
No.
the first team to 100 points wins, and each correct quote guess is like he said 10 points, and then you get.
Do
additional
one
points.
round.
We didn't.
You didn't
Okay,
think
so-
through that? Oh my god.
Oh!
Raja.
That wasn't me.
Okay. All right. Here, give me pick two.
So what do you think, guys?
Alright, here, hold on.
Let's.
Wait, I'm
This is
gonna-
good. I think it's good. This is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, hell
I
yeah.
think it's good.
Alright.
I like this location
Alright.
craziness.
Oh, I have the best location.
Okay.
Oh, should we do that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got it. Let me pick without.
I don't know what it is.
Don't share it with us. Can we also guess?
Yeah, you guys are on our team. So like,
It's
Okay.
gonna be
I'll-
like Batman.
Quick
and like,
question.
depending the amount of people, so let's say you have
I know what
like
I know what it
8
is.
people on a team, so it's 4 to
What
8.
is it?
So let's say you have 8 people on a team. You can have more people acted out. So you can split your team, like 4 people are acting and 4 people are guessing. So
Okay.
4 people can like have 30 seconds to, develop like a skit for your other team to guess, so that you can have dialogue inside your
Okay.
Quick question. What was the card you got?
the card. What?
The card.
Which
Where
card?
is it?
The yellow card.
Yellow? We don't have any yellow.
Eliminate and.
Oh, I got
Oh, yeah. Eliminate and
No,
so
evaluate and.
substitute.
So, okay.
So evaluate is like, so there's 2 teams, right? So if you're a guesser, you'd have to evaluate the the acting scene in order to develop your guess. And then for substitute, we substituted the environment by picking a place. So let's say you get an attic, so you're substituting what you're acting in
You wanna act
in
that?
order to
You wanna act that?
react with.
No, I'm okay. I'll
I like the way Chris
so how do
builds
I-
his story.
so how do I-
Okay, let's see around it.
Okay,
Alright,
so
so
we're not
you-
using the quote. We're using the meaning of the quote.
Okay, they both are. Get any.
Alright,
Okay,
so
so-
we'll just pretend like you guys are on his team, so you guys can guess, because we always
So
Okay.
go to what the
Because we
and
just
ask. Wait, no, that's 30 seconds. All right.
Alright.
Timer,
Oh,
1 minute. So just
So you,
go.
they're on your team, so just
Yeah,
act
you have
that
to
fun.
act it out.
Okay, no, I'm not doing it.
Okay, fine, I'll do it.
That one I'm not doing.
You put. Oh. Okay. Oh my god, I'm gonna fall out
What am I supposed to
this letter.
follow the letter?
Ow.
He just secretly wanted to finish me.
What is it that you want? To us
It's
to
a
do?
location we have to guess?
This is the meaning.
Or hit?
And the location. Oh my god, it's so round. it's one of these 3 things in this very popular location where.
Disney World.
No,
Oh.
it's in this famous sign in
Oh my god, it's so hot. The ocean's beautiful. Oh,
California?
oh my god.
Volcano.
Why?
I know.
I know.
I know.
Is it the second O in the Hollywood?
No way! That's 25 points.
Yes.
So what is the whole thing about?
Okay, so the meaning was do not disrespect women.
I would not have guessed that.
Chris is a good actor.
So which word were you doing?
No, okay, so if you were to get, so you didn't guess in the first minute, right?
This is very hard. But the concept is good.
So then Rajat's on the other team, right? So he'd have to pick, there's 2 bold words, disrespect or woman. He'd have to pick one of the words for me to use and use synonyms for you to guess. Just for, pity points.
You're giving a second chance.
You don't
Yeah.
give the answer away.
No.
Okay.
So then you lose the points that you can get for the place and the quote that you're acting out.
So you can get only 5 points. For
Yeah,
that
you
word,
just
can get-
gain 5 points just to have something.
And we didn't figure out the location though.
I did.
The
Yeah,
middle.
I know.
On the. It's the middle.
It was a unique one only.
The center of
No,
the
it's not
no.
unique. He got it right.
Hollywood.
That's a 25
I
point.
thought it was pretty obvious.
That's 25 points.
Can you do an easy one, guys? Okay, next round. We
It's
got
so
an
round.
idea.
Can we go now?
The second
Yeah.
O, I thought that was pretty obvious.
Okay, quick question though, last question. What was that one about though?
Oh, that's just,
It was
no,
just
it's a
That's a
rectangle. As you can
rectangle.
see, it's a rectangle by
That's a
all its
geometry.
What is that?
It's a rectangle.
It's a rectangle.
I got 4 right angles.
Right angles.
2 pairs of.
It's a
hold on.
rectangle?
Hold on,
Yeah.
please.
Two
Oh, yeah,
two
Guys on the parallel
lines.
lines.
That was the part 4.
They don't need to be parallel.
What does that do with the game?
It was
The
literally
gas
a picture.
piece
It was
there.
like proof that this is a rectangle.
No, stop.
So we had like magnify and modify, right?
Okay.
So basically, each of these cards is gonna like this would be like done prior to like the game, so they're all gonna have like a value depending on like the difficulty. So sort of like elements, like when you have the substances and some are like worth more points than others. So like each card is gonna have like a certain value.
One number.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it could be like I guess 1 to 5, like on that scale.
The
like,
most
right-
difficult to
right-
understand is 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like the most, like the more difficult it is. So like, and then so for rounds we would like split them up by like the parvas. So like this one's like after the war, and then there's like Drona, and then there's like different ones. So like each player would have a character, cause like if you look at the cards, there's like narrator, like Krishna, like so each player is gonna have a character.
Okay.
And
Which
then-
would you would distribute it separately?
Yeah, like you could like draw like from whatever.
A set
So
of
each
cards.
player is gonna have a character, and then like let's say this one it's like Krishna to Arjuna. So like both like the character who's Krishna and the character who's Arjuna
Okay.
would like have to like I guess act it out without trying to say like the italicized thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like this one, it says like yoga may be achieved by staying balanced in your own mind. So you can either think of a situation for this quote, or you can choose like a phrase or a word, and you can act it out, draw it out.
Yeah, you can like act it.
You can speak without using any of the words in the actual quote, or you can like, yeah, like you can use any
Then how does your parva and all figure in it?
So one round would be 1 parva. So like
Okay.
you would like go through all of the cards that were, for example,
Separate
after
them
the
by-
war.
Okay.
So like you would do all of the cards that are that. So that's how you like split it up. So in each round, like after, so like Krishna and Arjuna just did that card. So like the audience, like the other players, would have to like rate how many out of like the total possible points, like their performance, I guess, like deserve.
and then
And you would also have to like act it out in a way that's like true to like what Krishna and Arjuna would do. Like you can't do it as if you're like
Okay.
Like
like
for
yourself. Like you're not
performance.
yourself. You're like a different character.
And then, so based on the number of points that you were assigned, that's the number of chips that you would get. And then the goal is to have the.
So there has to be some kind of judge, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no,
That's
but
the
like
rest of it.
everyone
That's-
is.
that's the
It would have to be
audience.
like a unanimous decision between the audience. Well, the other players. So like basically your currency in this game is like the coins.
The chips.
And after every like parva, like every round, whoever has like the least amount of coins is like eliminated. Because we had eliminate at first and then we changed it, so.
Yeah, okay. So we combined the idea of like a basic game like Candyland, and we combined Remimax.
Okay.
So what happens is that you all start at start, obviously. And what happens is that there's, in this case, it would be 2 teams. So what happens is that in the team, one person has to act out like what's on the card, the bolded words, and the
Okay.
other person has to guess. If you guess correctly, you get a good card, which is over here. Yeah, and it has something good, like you move up a space or something. And also, if you guess right, you get to move ahead the amount of spaces that's on the card.
Okay.
And so, if you don't get it right, you get the bad card, which has something bad. And your objective is to get to the end.
And also on the actual board itself, it has spaces. It says like go back 1 space or go back to the last ping or forward 2 spaces. So it's in the cards and it's on the board as well.
Okay, so it's a combination of
Candyland.
Candyland, but then you act it out, and if you guess it, you have some kind of point system.
Yeah.
Whoever gets to the end is the winner. That's it.
Yeah. And then you have pitfalls somewhere, right? You land and you go back. Winner, whoever gets to the end.